The cleaning lady always arrived before sunrise, long before the marble floors of the downtown hotel reflected polished shoes and expensive luggage. Every morning at 4:30 a.m., Elena pushed her old supply cart through the silent lobby while the city outside still slept beneath dim streetlights and drifting fog. Most people never noticed her. If they did, they looked past her as if she were part of the furniture. But Elena noticed everyone. She noticed the businessman who argued with his wife on the phone every Tuesday morning. She noticed the exhausted mother trying to calm a crying toddler while balancing coffee and suitcases. She noticed the elderly veteran who sat quietly near the fireplace every December with tears in his eyes while Christmas music played overhead. And she noticed the man in the corner. Every morning for nearly 3 weeks, he sat alone at the same table near the large lobby window. He wore dark suits that looked expensive but wrinkled, like someone who had forgotten to care. Sometimes he drank coffee, sometimes he simply stared outside at the waking city. He rarely spoke. The hotel staff whispered about him because no one seemed to know who he was. "Elena," one receptionist joked one morning, "your silent boyfriend is back." Elena laughed softly. "He just looks lonely." "Lonely people don't wear watches that cost more than my car," another employee replied. Still, Elena said nothing more. At 58 years old, Elena had learned that pain did not care about money. Her own life had taught her that. 10 years earlier, her husband Miguel died suddenly from a heart attack while repairing an air conditioner in the middle of July heat. One moment he was laughing at breakfast, the next he was gone. After that, Elena worked 3 jobs to raise her daughter Sofia, who dreamed of becoming a nurse. Elena cleaned offices at night, hotel rooms in the morning, and grocery stores on weekends. Sleep became a luxury she could no longer afford. Yet she remained kind. Every Friday, she left half of her sandwich near a bench outside for a homeless man named Walter. Every winter, she knitted scarves for shelter children using cheap yarn from discount stores. She remembered birthdays, comforted strangers, and smiled at people who never smiled back. Most people considered her invisible, but invisible people often carry the heaviest hearts. One rainy Thursday morning, Elena noticed the man in the corner looked worse than usual. His eyes were red and unopened papers covered the table before him. He stared at them as though they contained something unbearable. As Elena swept nearby, she saw one paper slide onto the floor. Without hesitation, she picked it up gently. "I'm sorry, sir," she said softly. "You dropped this." The man looked up slowly. For the first time, Elena saw just how tired he truly was. "Thank you," he muttered. She handed him the paper, but before walking away, she noticed his coffee cup trembling slightly in his hand. "Too much stress will make your soul sick," she said kindly. The man blinked in surprise. "No offense," Elena added with a shy smile, "but you look like you haven't slept in days." To her surprise, he laughed quietly. "That obvious?" "Only to someone who knows the feeling." For a moment, neither spoke. Then something unexpected happened. "Would you sit for a minute?" he asked. Elena hesitated. Employees were not supposed to sit with guests. But something in his voice sounded less like authority and more like desperation. So she sat. His name was Daniel Mercer. Over the next few minutes, pieces of his life slowly emerged. Daniel owned one of the largest construction companies in the state. Newspapers once called him a genius entrepreneur, but success had cost him almost everything. His wife had left years earlier. His son no longer answered his calls. And 2 weeks ago, Daniel learned he had a serious heart condition requiring surgery. "I built buildings," he said bitterly, staring out the window. "But somehow I failed at building a life." Elena listened quietly. Most people interrupted pain with advice. She interrupted it with understanding. "My husband used to say people need love more than they need perfection," she told him. "Maybe your son doesn't need a successful father. Maybe he just needs his dad." Daniel looked down at the table. "I wouldn't even know what to say to him anymore." Elena smiled gently. "Then start with the truth." That morning changed something. Every day afterward, Daniel waited for Elena's shift. Sometimes they talked for only 5 minutes. Other times nearly an hour passed before either noticed. They spoke about grief, regret, forgiveness, and fear. Elena told stories about Miguel and Sofia. Daniel admitted things he had never told anyone, and slowly the hardness in him began to soften. One morning, Elena arrived to find the corner table empty. Days passed. Then a week. She worried something terrible had happened. But life kept moving. Bills still arrived. Floors still needed cleaning. Invisible people rarely